So I'm Randy, I'm an alcoholic.
I'm Randy.
Very grateful to be here today, to have another opportunity to go deep into living this as a way of life. And we still have one paragraph in chapter 2, in step 2. We're done with step 2. All right, so last week we finished reading step 2 out of the 12 and 12. So this week we're actually going to read step 3 out of the big book. But here's what I'd like to offer you, an opportunity to practice something that you probably never practiced in a meeting before, but we just did 20 minutes of paying attention to breathing. Now with your eyes open and your ears hearing, can you still pay attention to your breathing? Can you be aware that you're breathing in or breathing out and hear what's being said at the same time? And so I encourage you to just practice that now throughout this meeting as much as you can, and see how often your mind leaves the breathing and starts talking about whatever anybody's talking about in this room. And I always say this, but it's very true. It's not important what I say today or what anybody else says in the meeting is not important. The words are not important. What's important is that I'm listening, that I'm present, that I'm doing what it is I'm supposed to be doing in this meeting, which is rightly relating myself to God, so that I could be restored to sanity right now. But how much of the time the mind can't do too many things at once. But I found for myself, I was practicing it while you were doing the reading. I was breathing, being aware of my breath, and I heard every word that you read. Same thing with you. And so it's possible to do it. And so right now, those chairs have bed bugs, Earl. That's why I put them out there. You can put them, we'll bring them back when it's over.
No, I'll bring them back.
All right. You might want to burn them. They were up against the wall here.
All right. I heard that.
So, right here, right now, have I left my breathing? So this meeting's about principles and application. It's about practicing something. It's about actually doing what the program is asking me to do in the day that I'm in. Not later. You're not going to come here and learn something and go practice it later. That's impossible. Because alcoholism will have you, if it's got you captured now with thinking and talking to yourself about what's being said now and how you're going to try that later, your mind's going to be doing the same thing later with whatever's going on in that moment. It's going to be talking to you about what you could do later. And that's a way of life. That's a character. That's always going to do something later. But what's needed is application right here, right now. I need to have an experience of coming to believe more right now that my higher power could restore me to sanity now. I don't need to be restored to sanity later. I don't need to listen in the meeting and talk to myself about whatever's going on in my life or whatever I think the speaker's talking about, and then go practice being restored to sanity later. That's insane. Just the idea of that is insane. The moment that I need the sanity is right now. So, as an application with step 1, first of all, I have to know that I have alcoholism, that I have a disease that centers in my mind, that has nothing to do with alcohol, and that not drinking alcohol does not treat my disease, not one bit right now. I actually get worse. When I don't drink, I don't get better. Now, I can never ever drink alcohol successfully again, and I'm not telling you to go drink, but drinking does not cure what's wrong with me. It makes it worse. The reason I drink is to treat my disease, which centers in my mind. And that disease is a disease of a restless, irritable discontent. That's how it manifests. But the way that I become restless, irritable, and discontent is because I talk to myself, and I talk to myself in my own voice. And the things that I say to myself is that this is not satisfying to me. This is not right. This girl's not right. This job's not right. The amount of money I have in the bank is not right. And I talk to myself with this unsatisfiable, fault-finding, opinionated mind. And I'm always in a hurry. and I'm easily frustrated, and I can't stand the word no. If you don't have that, thank God. You're just a heavy drinker. Thank God. Go to regular AA meetings, listen to drunkalogs. Don't drink today no matter what, and you're going to be fine. Go to 7 meetings a week. That seems to be the prescription for heavy drinkers. And you just don't drink today and you'll be a winner. That is not my experience. I am not a winner. It says somewhere in the book, I can't find it now. It says that because of alcohol, I've turned into an all-time loser. All time. All time. My mind never tells me I am not a loser today. Every day I wake up and it tells me the other guys in my business are getting the good leads and I'm not getting them because I'm a loser. The other guys are making more sales and I'm not getting them because I'm a loser. The other guys in my neighborhood have Mercedes-Benz and Porsches and I don't have one because I'm a loser. And it talks to me like that all the time. I am an all-time loser. Whenever I ask me how I'm doing, no matter how good I'm doing, my mind still says, you got the wrong wife, you got the wrong car, you got the wrong amount of money in the bank. And that's just a way of life for a person with alcoholism whenever I ask me how I'm doing. Now, I have learned in this program that there's another way to go. I've been shown that there's another way to go, that there is a power greater than myself that could restore me to sanity. But the only way that's going to happen is if I have step 1 in my life where I admit complete defeat on my own power. Using my mind, I'm a complete defeat at being okay in the moment that I'm in. And that's this moment, right here, on my own power. I cannot restore myself to sanity. I cannot have peace in this moment. The life that's become unmanageable is my inner life. I can drive my car. I can make my bed if I feel like it. I can do the dishes if I feel like it, but I don't ever feel like it. So my bed never gets made and my dishes never get cleaned. My life is what goes on inside of my mind. That's what's unmanageable. I cannot manage my thought life. And when I can admit that, and I stand ready to do anything which will lift the merciless obsession of whatever my mind is telling me today is the obsession of my mind, then I stand ready to do anything. And the anything I have to do is step 2. I have to start to come to believe by doing something that there's a power and that power is greater than me and that power is the power that's going to restore me to sanity. Anybody still breathing? Consciously? There's a power. The power is greater than me. If I rightly relate myself, like it says in the last line of the book and that we just read, if I rightly relate myself to that power, I could be restored to sanity right now. And what that sounds like in my mind is, power, could you be with me? Could you help me be here? Could you help me be present? Could you help me be present in this moment, in this room right now? And something happens, and I get some peace. And that story of what's wrong and what needs to change and what I have to fix and who I have to straighten out, that story disappears in this moment because there's nobody to fix, there's nobody to straighten out. There's no money in any banks right now that I can get to. I could just be present right here, right now. And I could be restored to sanity and have an experience of being here in this room right now. I've never been here before. I think I have. I've never been here right now before. And I get to do that. And when I do that and I have some moments of being in the room, and I have some moments of being completely at peace no matter what's going on the outside, then when I have enough of those moments, I can make a decision. And it's such an easy decision. The decision is, do I want to re-energize my mind and start finding fault and having opinions and being unsatisfied? Or do I want to turn my will and my life, my thoughts and my actions over to the care of God as I understood Him from 2? I have an understanding of God today because I did something in 2 to come to believe that something could restore me to sanity. Most of the time, all you hear is you just have to be willing to believe. Are you willing to believe? Okay, you did step 2. Let's do step 3. Well, willing to believe has nothing to do with coming to believe. Nothing. You don't even have to be willing. You can be willing to not believe. But if you practice it, you will have an experience. And that experience will be more strong than anything that you believe. You'll have your own experience and nobody can take that from you. Are you still breathing? Right here, right now. This is the best moment there ever was. So we're going to walk into step 3 and we'll read the step 3 out of the big book. So, and then the meeting will be open for sharing. If you have experience with the paragraph that gets read, share your experience on that paragraph, on living that paragraph as a way of life. And if you have a question, ask a question. Thanks.